up in Sacktown, get you home by midnight. Make sure that your family just don't know. I'll meet you in the hood, girl, don't care.
Hey yo, me and my guy over here at the ProteinHouse Modesto. What's up, man? Welcome. Yo, I want to welcome you to the latest installment of Max Muscle Presents the Invest podcast. I'm your host, the one and only, never duplicated Johnny Invest. Do me a favor and smack that subscribe button. Subscribe to Invest Universal. Be notified every time we drop dope, banging content. And we're on it again, man. I got my guy in the house, man. I actually met this guy a while back. He had sent me a text message at some point in time saying, hey, can we do some merch? Can we do some basketball jerseys? I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know. I went ahead and got on my phone. I mopped it up. I said, we running with it, man. We've been locked in ever since, man. Partnership, friendship. I like this guy's mindset, his take on business, life, community, team building, emotional intelligence, all of it. So it was only right to get my guy, my partner. I mean, I'm even repping them on the tights. Get the tights. I want to welcome the co-owner of the Protein House, Sacramento, Modesto, my guy, January. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we're going to kick it for about 30 minutes. We're going to talk about life. So not only now is he running the Protein House, which if you have not tried it, I mean, they're putting a whole different spin on making healthy taste good. They got something for the kids, ma and pop, the athlete, whether you're a boxer, you're a bodybuilder, you're a cyclist, you do Pilates or yoga. They got a little bit of something for everybody. But before we touch on the Protein House and all that, we're going to dissect and talk a little bit about his career first, because you might not know this by looking at him. This guy was a 20-year law enforcement guy. So January, brother, you're putting your 20.
Yes.
Let's kind of talk a little bit about how you got your start in law enforcement, why you went in law enforcement, and how law enforcement actually just helped shape your take on life, people. It's helping you in this next journey in your life now.
Yep. It all started, we would have to go back to actually my parents who migrated over from Cambodia. In the mid 70s, late 70s, the Khmer Rouge took over Cambodia and was responsible for almost 25% of the Cambodian population. So probably like 1.5 to 2 million people were executed.
Wow.
During that time, a lot of Cambodians were migrating over to the U.S. So my parents went through that, and their story is just phenomenal. They would come into the village, take all the male juvenile away to the concentration camp. A lot of the females would be left there to dig a pit,
Wow.
which eventually became their grave.
Wow.
What had happened during that time, they eventually came to my parents' village. My mom was kept back. They took my dad. And my dad, right away, the assumption my mom's going to be executed. And then my mom, he's going to get taken over to the concentration camp where they either convert, join them, or get executed.
Wow, one
right?
or the other. Wow.
So what had happened with my mom was she was left back. They had to dig the pit. They came behind her, hit her in the back of the head with a hole, and actually she passed out. We don't know how long, but she woke up, in full blood, pile of dead bodies and stuff. She had the scar on her head. She would tell us a story about it. Eventually, she made it safe to a refugee camp. They moved her, from here to there, and
They thought they killed her. They probably thought they killed her out.
Yes.
Okay.
She ended up getting transported to the main refugee camp in Thailand.
Wow.
So her assumption, my dad's dead. My dad, his assumption, she's dead. My dad, on the other hand, was taken to a concentration camp where, you convert or you get killed.
Yeah.
And it's just like, in the movie Rambo, right?
Right.
The game that they play with you, have you run in the rice field with mines and they shoot at you and all that stuff. So my dad was in law enforcement. He worked for the Cambodian government and stuff. We later found out in life that he was actually a government assassin. So what he did was he seek, identify communist leader, and take them out.
So he's almost like a assassin spy type thing.
It's
Wow.
crazy. His
Wow.
story
Like
is just crazy,
like
right?
almost like CIA type of,
Yes,
but
yes,
Cambodian.
yes, yes. So
Damn. Okay.
he was always like, hey, you know, if I rather die fighting than to live on my knees or
I
so,
love it.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So hearing his story, his work in law enforcement and other stuff kind of motivated me, like that's what I want to do, right? So eventually he told me that he told all the other prisoner that they captured that he was gonna kill that guard, take his AK and break them out. I'm like, right, Dad.
Yeah. That's
Fast
movie stuff
forward
right
to
there.
here in the U.S.
Yeah.
All the old folks who migrated over, they were barbecuing in front of like this Cambodian mini mart,
Okay.
and they were talking about that. They were like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you breaking us out and stuff. So
Your dad.
I was like, damn, Dad, you're Rambo, right? So
That's crazy.
growing up,
Unbelievable.
always wanted to be a cop because of his stories and
Okay.
all that stuff. As a young boy, all of us, my siblings and stuff, we grew up where my dad would ghetto rig all the houses that we stayed at, and he had lights on the perimeter of the house.
Okay.
So anytime nighttime the dog bark or anything, we were trained to turn off, the TV, electronics, lights, and all that stuff, and then turn on the switch for the exterior lights. And then he would always tell us, we can see them, they can't see us. We know our layout, they don't know the layout.
So he's already trained in like surveillance.
Yes, so
and all that
but that was normal for us.
Okay.
And then he'll check around and stuff with his gun and stuff, and I kind of follow him around. That was our norm.
Damn.
However, in March 27, 1998, I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
During this time, the Asian gang were big in our area.
Yeah, for sure.
Ruthless, and there was a lot of home invasions, robberies and stuff happening every weekend. Who's getting hit? Who's getting hit every weekend, right? And my dad was always talking to the Cambodian community. Hey, you need to talk to law enforcement. This is the only way we're going to stop them. That night, it happened to us. So someone kicked our front door. Immediately, we turned off the lights, the TVs, and all that stuff, right? I look out the front window, kitchen window, didn't see anybody. My mom looked, didn't see anybody. And then my dad stuck his head out of the room, like, what was that? I go, someone kicked the door, Dad. And then he went back in. We knew he was going to grab his gun.
Yeah.
So while we're kind of like looking around, my younger brother was shorter then, so then he get up on the kitchen counter so he could see, and he falls kind of forward, and he can see two guys under the windowsill with shotgun and ski masks.
Oh my God.
So he tells my mom, there's two guys right here. My mom looked, told me, hey, these guys aren't good, call 911. I grabbed the phone, called 911. My mom screamed. I turned around, guy ripped the kitchen screen, comes in, and he's slipping from the wet sink. He has a shotgun to my mom's head.
Oh my God.
I run
This
over
is here in the U.S. after what she had been through over there.
After what they've been through. You know what I mean? Oh, and over in Thailand, they both thought each other died. Well, my dad ended up making it over to Thailand, refugee camp. That's where they ran back into each other. So it's almost like a romance story.
Wow, I never knew this story. This is wow.
Yes. And then even my mom too, like her story, when she was over in Thailand, some guy tried to rape and rob her. She fought him. He had a knife.
How long were they apart before they actually realized they were alive?
Man,
how did that happen again? They just ran into each other.
So after he broke out of the concentration camp, they found help, refugee camp stuff. So then they get moved around. Eventually, the main base is in Thailand.
Okay.
And then my mom was already there. And then they ran back into each other.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And then while over at the refugee camp, some guy tried to rape and rob her. At knife point, she fought the guy, holding on to the knife. And in her hands, there's like, still scars from that. So my mom's a fighter.
Mom's
She's
a survivor.
Yeah. And then same with Dad, like his stories and stuff, right? So,
wow.
Hearing all that stuff, so then I always want to become a cop.
Yeah.
Well, that night during the home invasion, when the guy had the gun to my mom's head.
That's unreal scary. My God.
I push her out of the way. He shoots off a round. So then at the same time, my dad made it into the living room and he's still on the counter, shoots the guy in the chest. Guy falls down, and then I hear, and I grabbed the kitchen knife so I could finish him off.
Yeah.
Well, during that time I had long hair, right?
Okay.
And as I started going toward him, my mom pulled my hair back. As soon as I went back, a shotgun round goes off in my face.
Oh
There's
my-
another guy
Another
at
guy.
the kitchen window, and then I see a hand come in with a pistol, start shooting.
Damn.
And then while this is happening,
real.
there's another guy in front of the living room window, and he's shooting too.
So it's like these guys were coming for more than like coming to actually harm.
Yeah. So then, during this whole time, here's the crazy thing: we had a teacher over for dinner, so she was there during this whole incident.
The teacher was there?
Yes. So she was in the
Talk about wrong place, the wrong
Yes,
time. Like, why
yes.
the hell
So-
did I go over there?
So then after that, like my dad was yelling for everybody to run into the master bedroom. Teacher was on the phone with 911, and then everyone scattering around. We ended up, long story short, we ended up in the master bedroom, shut the door, and then my dad grabbed the other gun. I get it. He has like, machete, axe, baseball bat, metal pipes and stuff. And I remember my youngest brother, I think he was like 6 during that time, sitting in the corner and just like holding, like terrified. And then my dad's like, hey, when that door busts open, we're going to fight. And while all this is going on, my mom,
You're in high school this time?
I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And while all this was going on, my mom started taking jewelries off of everybody, all her money and everything. She started putting it in random shoes. While this is all going on,
I even thinking about
Yep,
that
yep,
at that
cookies.
moment. I
Yep.
wouldn't even be able to think that
Yes.
far ahead. Just in that, like,
Yep.
wow.
And then I had 2 other sisters who were supposed to get home from work at that time. So she was like, hey, we need to call them, make sure they don't come home or anything like that. So we're doing all that while teacher's on the phone with 911. And my dad's like, when that door
These
busts
guys are still in
down-
the house.
Yes, yes. So, hey, when the door busts down, we're fighting. Then that's when you start hearing all the police sirens getting closer, closer, closer. And then after that, they had me take over the phone and so I could translate to the family and stuff.
Yeah.
And, one of the sergeants who was on the phone was like, January, there's like 30 cop cars out here. And, we need you guys to put down your weapons, open the door, and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So going back to that sound, that was a sign of relief when my family was in desperate need.
That's terrifying. Something you see in a movie.
So when people ask me like, why do you want to become a cop? I was like, when people are in that desperate need, I want to be that relief.
I think like even like with everything your dad had experienced and went through, you already wanted to do it. But I think after that, like life altering event, like that never gets out of your head, it was even more.
Yes. So go through that, and then immediately, they went to the hospital. They get captured and stuff, and then the whole court
So
proceeding.
they were in the house when they actually got there.
Yeah. So
Wow.
they, the guy jumped out, and then after that, they end up going to the hospital. They get caught over there and stuff.
Wow.
And then the next morning, we find out who they were and all that stuff. But in the Cambodian community, like business owners and stuff like that, they were calling us like, there's a green light on your whole entire family.
Because of what happened.
Because of what happened.
Wow.
Yes, because your dad shot the shot caller, blah blah blah, and all this other stuff, right?
Wow.
So then Dad and I was like pretty pissed off, like you came and messed with us,
So
and now
you're coming to
now
my
there's a
house,
green light on
I
us.
kill you because you're breaking in my house
Yeah.
to harm my family.
Yeah.
And that was a green light on us because
Yep.
you broke in my house.
Yes. So
Wow.
Dad and I was like, all right, well, let's go get them first before they get us.
Damn.
And my mom was like begging us, no, let the police handle it and all that stuff. And that's where, choices, right?
Yeah.
Can change everything. So luckily we made the choice to like let the police handle it.
Yeah.
And then after that, we ended up like, me going to high school where I was at in Westside Modesto ghetto area of Modesto and stuff. I got pulled out of school twice. Someone was supposed to shank me. Another guy supposedly brought a gun to school to take me out. And
This
stuff.
is all related to this whole
to
thing.
this whole incident.
Wow.
So, we had to move out of town for a while to finish off school.
Yeah, for sure.
We went to Santa Rosa. We stayed with my uncle and stuff. We were living like really in the living room, in the kitchen, sleeping on the ground and all that stuff. Couldn't find housing. It was too expensive and stuff. Eventually made the decision to come back, and then I went back I wanted to go back to the same school. They wanted me to go different school. So I was like, no, I'm not going to run from this. My dad always taught me stuff like don't run from stuff, right? So after that, I cut my long hair. I joined the Modesto Police Explorer and stuff.
Okay.
And then from there, that's kind of where my career started happening. So I graduated in high school, went straight to college. right when I started college, I was picked up by the Stanislaus probation department,
Okay.
and then continued my law enforcement career there, and then did my 4 year in college, got my degree, and went to the police academy.
You get a degree in like criminal justice?
Yes,
Okay.
a BA in criminal
Okay.
justice,
Bachelor. Nice.
and didn't waste any time. During that time, my wife um, was pregnant with our firstborn.
Okay.
I wanted to focus on the family, so then I left Modesto Police, came back to probation department, did about another 8 years or so there. Worked gangs and other high risk units, stuff like that. Um, then I was like, you know what? I need to go back to the street. And then I went back to Modesto PD for I think.
So you kind of went back and forth. So first you were in Modesto PD, you went probation, and then you went back to Modesto PD.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
did that for a while. Got into it's always been like in law enforcement career. When you retire, you might live 5 years because of all the stress and
Yeah.
stuff on your body, mentally and stuff.
Yeah.
You're lucky to live past 5. So the important thing was lifetime fitness, staying healthy so you can enjoy your retirement and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm a true believer of that, and I've always promote that.
Okay.
Right. And then I've always been the guy to always stay in shape, or people come and talk to me about supplement, workout, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Right, always pushing people to do that stuff. So I ended up toward the end of my career, I lateral over to the sheriff's department.
Okay.
And I ended my career there as a detective sergeant, the first Cambodian in Stanislaus County to promote to sergeant.
Damn.
Yeah, but it was
well accomplished, man.
Unfortunately, by this time my parents both have passed.
Yeah.
So it would have been something
they could have seen
cool,
it.
Right?
Yeah.
So after that, right before my career ended, I was on a search warrant. Guy got close to my rifle. I threw him back. I tore my shoulder. I had to have like 2 shoulder surgery and stuff.
Damn.
And then after that, I also taught range. I'm a range master too.
Okay.
And with my exposure to flashbang and firearms all the time, stuff, I end up losing my hearing like 40%, 30%.
Oh.
So I have hearing aids now and stuff. With my shoulder, my loss of hearing stuff, it was time to tap out.
And, the shoulder, that's something like doesn't heal right away.
Yep.
Never comes back like 100%.
Yeah.
So you put in your 20.
Yep.
And
it was one of those things where I was like solid 200.
Yeah. At
and
5'6",
after this happened, I
was
was down to
big.
150. Like I was skinny, like to the point where other officers, stuff, they come by and they see me. They see me like, Sergeant, you all right? Like
200 pounds on you, dude. That is massive.
Yeah. So
God.
So eventually I snap out of it. It's time to get back in. My shoulder healed up, and then started working out again.
Yeah.
And during all this, I saw what was coming. My partner.
Yeah.
I call my brother-in-law. Him and my sister used to date.
Yeah.
He always talked to me about ProteinHouse.
So Mark, we're Max Muscle. Mark was originally like a Max Muscle guy at some point. He was regional. Was Mark with Max Muscle at some point in time? Mark? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he told me about ProteinHouse a while back, and I was like, hey, let's wait when I retire in 2023. And this is before injuries.
He's already talking to you about ProteinHouse.
Yeah,
before?
Yeah. And I was already talking about
get on ProteinHouse, huh?
Yeah. Like, we were gonna go to Florida to do it, and then when all this stuff happened, it's like it delayed us moving. So it was like, let's just open ProteinHouse in Modesto, see how it does.
Oh, so okay. So originally the plan, Florida was the plan first.
Yes.
Oh, so I heard about Florida later, but that was the original.
That was the original, and then I was injured, so we're like, hey, let's just open it here because stuff is being delayed with my injury and everything else, right? So then I was like, all right, let's do it. But I was like, if we're gonna do it, it has to be this location, blah blah blah. So we do it.
Good location too.
And it's perfect with like Mark, me, our family. We've always been like into the workout stuff, and then in my career, I always preach lifetime fitness, right?
Yes.
So now when we open up Modesto, with my background in law enforcement and all that stuff, I still have a lot of friends that still support me and stuff, right? So I I was getting a lot of first responder coming in.
That scene on the wall with all the different badges
Yes.
of the police department, probation department, all of that, that whole wall that you got over there.
Yes.
I love it.
But during my career in law enforcement, like, my mom always taught me the golden rule, right? Treat everybody how you want to be treated, right? Treat them
That's
with
the magic
respect,
right there.
treat
There it
them with
is.
fairness.
There it is.
A lot of question was, I lived in Modesto, I worked Modesto, I worked the county. Hey,
Yeah.
you ever run into problem issue? How do you feel about working in the same city where you're working and blah blah blah, living in the same city where you're working? I was like, you know what? I've never really had that issue because I treat people with respect.
Absolutely, I believe it.
And fairness.
Yeah.
And I was like, in the beginning of my career, one of my supervisors told me, like, hey, if you put a whooping on somebody and you pepper spray them and you arrest them, you take them to jail, and they apologize to you, you're doing your job right.
Absolutely.
So I always remember that. And most time when I take people to jail, they apologize for me. They understand their mistakes, right?
That emotional
But I don't
intelligence.
ever hold that. I always treat everyone as a human being who made bad decision and they could change, right?
You have empathy.
Right? Yes. So like, I could be at the gym working out, and I worked out and spot people that I've sent to prison. And some would come to me like, hey, that really changed me and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
the thing that people would always tell me is like, January, the difference between you is like you built the base and foundation with law-abiding citizens and regular citizen and criminals.
You
People
have
know
you have rapport.
Yes, you have to build that rapport, that jacket, and a lot of time I remember there was this incident where they were trying to get this guy to prone out and stuff, and he wouldn't do it, and I showed up, and I was like, hey, it's me, Cpon, right? And then he turns around, he's like, that's what you guys need to learn, respect.
Yeah.
Maybe he could tell you guys a little bit about respect. He's like, because you're here, I'm gonna get down.
Absolutely.
So it's important that my thing, it's treating people with respect, fairness,
Dignity.
and I think that's, and I carry that whether it's business or when I was in law enforcement or anything. I've always I don't judge people uh, by the book of the cover of the book or anything, or by their appearance or anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you see me, a lot of my staff initially, when Mark said, hey, my partner, he's a cop, blah blah blah, and I walked in, they're looking around, and then they're like, we expected this guy, that guy, we didn't think it was going to be some tatted up guy or so.
I saw you setting up. I was a crunch. I saw you like setting up this at the Protein House, the screens and all the stuff like that. So you must be in with the Protein House. I didn't know what you did, but I didn't think like cop on top of that. But one thing I've always been taught in my life, you never really like know. And I never judge anybody as they're bad or they're good based on, let me conversate with them. Let me give them a chance. Let me get an opportunity to be able to get to know them. I got a guy similar to you. His name is Billy. He is actually worked in the Department of Corrections, right? So when you would first meet Billy, he's tatted up just like you. He even has his head tattooed. You're thinking biker guy, biker gang. This guy is a sergeant in corrections and actually is one of the coolest, nicest guys that you ever meet. That's what I try to teach my kids too. Don't judge a book by its cover. Like, get to know people, give everybody a chance. What my grandmother taught me.
And I do the same for our law enforcement community. I put on like coffee with a cop.
Yeah, I see that. I like it.
Customer to engage with officers and stuff, so you could humanize the badge.
Yeah.
And people assume, for a while there's the bad, stuff the media putting out on cops, stuff like, hey, they're regular people, right?
They're not all like that,
right? And then I was like, the stuff that we see, like we see the negative part, the evilness in the world, right?
That's what they put out.
Yep, I go, and some don't see that, right? Like as an officer and stuff, you see that stuff, and then after that, you're supposed to come back to your family and act like everything is normal. You know what I mean? So those are the things that that I educate people on. And I still do motivational speaking where I meet youth. I go to high school. I do wake up program, whenever I get the opportunity or so, and I talk to them about me growing up, the home invasion, the threats, being around gangs and other stuff, and how different choices, different decisions I've made, made me successful in my career and now as a businessman.
Yeah, I really like that. I kind of linked in with you because I like your philosophy and just the way that you're able to see things. I believe in a lot of treating people fair and treating people with dignity. Like for me on the other side, in my day job, I work in management. So, I've had times when I've had to have tough conversation with people. I've had some time when I've had to issue disciplinary actions or corrective actions with them, but I believe in the rapport I've built with them
Yep.
and just the understanding of kind of the situation and that the mistake that maybe we're going to get it corrected. I can say that my percentage of having people like yelling at me afterwards, having people upset at me afterwards is actually really, really low. We're actually talking pretty much like the next day, and then a lot of times they apologize and they're able to see what they needed to correct. Because I don't point at them, oh man, you messed up, blah, 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 blah. I talk to them like regular people, kind of explain the situation. I'm like, this is what happened. What do you think about that?
Yep.
This is kind of where we're gonna go, but I believe you'll learn from it, and we're gonna correct it. Because again, I treat people like people,
Yes.
and for me, I've taken a lot of different like trainings. You go to my wall at my house, I have like 1,000 different certificates for different types of management courses I took. But the best train I ever got was from my grandmother because she taught me no matter where you go, no matter what business you own, no matter what your job title is, treat people with dignity,
Yes.
treat people with respect, hold people accountable, but treat them with dignity and treat people with respect. And I've seen that's worked really well for me, and I've seen that works really well for you. You're just a team builder, you're a community guy. Really funny, you told me that you're at I believe it's the academy, they still play your video.
Yes. Yes. So there's you know, there's a module called cultural diversity. So you want to train these new these recruits coming in the police academy to understand cultural diversity, right? And they would bring different people with different backgrounds stuff. And I was doing a lot of that stuff, explaining them my background, what I went through, and who I am now during that time when I was an active officer. And I told them the choices, different choices can affect what's going to happen. So there's two different times where it's like I could have been in prison
Yeah,
if I went the other
they have a
route, right?
choice.
So like they really like they needed me there for that to explain to these new incoming officer, like, hey, what cultural diversity is. But then there's time where I get so busy with work and doing other stuff, I might not be available.
Yeah.
So
How do I get you there?
yeah, so
Without
then
being there.
one of the lieutenant was like, hey, I want to get this on video. So when you're not around, you're not available or anything, we could play this video. And they actually did like a almost like an hour long where I you know give them my story from the beginning with my parents
Okay.
all the way to the end.
Wow.
And even during wake up program, when I used to do wake up program with the kids, I would go in there like this,
Okay.
right? But I had already put my suitcase behind the podium,
They didn't know
right? So then I'm like, hey, blah blah blah. I introduced myself. Hey, my name is January, and I start out with my family background and all that stuff. And as I'm talking to them, the story and everything,
Yeah.
well, I start changing behind the podium. I start putting my pants on. I start putting my uniform,
Oh,
my
I
vest,
love
and
it,
everything.
bro.
So and when it
It's a
was
whole
over,
like show.
and when it was over, I'm in my full uniform, my gear.
So little by little you're changing?
And then I introduced them. I introduced myself. I'm January Sipan. I'm a police officer with the Modesto Police Department, blah, 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 blah. And then people were like, from this guy to an officer in a uniform, and then the kids are like, I was like, hey, it doesn't matter if you grew up in a generation of gangs or in bad neighborhood. It's all about choices. You're in control of your life,
I love it.
not because where you were born or because your family or doing this or that. You know what I mean?
That's interesting because I was at a high school the other day and we talked a lot. I talked about inputs and outputs. We talked about what do you want your output to be, but the inputs, they have to be certain inputs to get that output out of what it is you're actually looking to do. So I'm very much with you on that one, man. So let's talk really quickly before we get you out here. We're gonna do some promo, man, for the Protein House because this is the thing. When people think like healthy, they think it has to be nasty, it has to be bland. Like you guys are doing something with food that like we don't have around here. I mean, we got the protein pancakes. Now we got the shakes. We got my favorite. It's the omega. So definitely check that out with the salmon. That's kind of my thing. They got something for everybody. But just like I go to the Modesto, your restaurant, Modesto store, it's booming. People are in there, they're loving it. People are coming on their lunch, grabbing stuff. People are like loving this place. But it's like different demographics of people. It's not
Yes.
just pure bodybuilders. We have a little bit of something for everybody. So, like I
Yes.
said, yoga, Pilates, boxing, cycling, kickboxing.
Yes.
The concept is just different. And when I seen this place going up in Arden, where I was working out at, I said, man, I can't wait to eat here. I said, I want to work with these guys. I didn't know how we were going to do it, but I knew somehow it would link. I just love the concept of it, man. Just talk to me a little bit about the restaurant.
When you see Protein House, you'll see on the bottom Healthy Fit Kitchen.
Yeah.
Healthy Fit Kitchen is exactly what it is, right? Protein House Healthy Fit Kitchen. And what is our slogan? Eat with purpose, right?
Yeah.
So, it's healthy eating, but it also tastes very good. Our ingredients very clean. We get it about every other day. We don't make it until you order it. It's fresh, right? Um, you're not gonna come in there and then see food warmer with
it's
right?
fresh.
And my biggest complaint is always like, hey, the wait's long or so. But my
It's fresh food.
customers, they know, right? Now they know to call in advance.
Yeah.
Use the app
Yeah,
and the
wait for
website,
quality.
order in advance. During lunch, dinner rush, it is crazy busy. But people was like, I'm willing to wait to get real food. No, I don't have 99-cent burger because I serve real food, right?
We have 99-cent burgers.
So the food is great. The stuff we do with our community is great.
Yeah.
Like you said, Pilates, yoga, wherever it is. Well, it's for everybody. We have in our Modesto location, we have a senior facility down the road. We also have Kaiser across the street.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're in a prime. You picked that location really
people
smartly.
come in and they're like, hey, I just had bad news. I had this gentleman, he was like, January, if you could give me 2 more years, all I ask for is 2 more years. I'm willing to do whatever. We sat down, had a game plan, and now when he comes in, he's happy. Everybody in my store, my staff knows him. He knows my staff. It's almost like I get the usual where my customers are now friends with each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Community building and just bringing people together with healthy food. That's so different. You don't see that anywhere.
I have, some people's like, hey, this is for like a gym rat. No, it's not for gym
rat.
I have kids here. I have senior citizens here. I have people who just want to live a healthy lifestyle here, right? I have kids, so we have Aries Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
We also have
sponsor a kid or two.
Yeah, so I would sponsor the kids and stuff. You'll see kids competing in Jiu-Jitsu competition with Protein House. Bringing back gold.
I've seen it recently, yeah.
Or I see these kids do stuff. I was like, hey, good job.
Yeah.
Swing by the store.
Get something.
Grab something to eat. I'm gonna call my staff, let them know, right? Stuff like that to show the kids like the stuff that I'm doing. Hopefully they carry that and they remember when they become successful to give back to their community too, right?
Give back.
So whether it's martial arts, jiu-jitsu, yoga, Pilates, or whatever it is, just stay active, right?
Yeah.
If my mother-in-law is a good example. Before I was kind of like, oh man, she's messing up my lawn because she's gardening, she's getting into it and all this stuff, or she's going to the temple every day and stuff. And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? She's older, but she's staying active.
Yes.
She's not just sitting there watching TV or anything, right?
I love it.
It keeps her mind going. She's staying active. And by doing that, you live longer.
You do.
Right? So just, for me, I tell my customer, no matter what it is you do, you want to stay active.
Stay active.
Combine it with clean eating.
Yep.
Maintain that healthy lifestyle, that lifetime fitness, right?
I love life. I love the name.
Yep. So now, I collaborate with different gyms, whether it's yoga, whether it's Pilates, whether it's martial arts or whatever it is. I try to explain to those people, those business owners, like, hey, the benefit for your clients is now that we're collaborating together, they get 10% off at Protein House.
Yeah, that's nice.
Combine it with what they're doing and eating healthy. Yeah, you get the best result.
Dude, you can eat clean. It tastes good. Then after you actually walk out of there actually feeling good, that's a win-win. And like lifetime fitness, that way you can age well. You have a good quality of life as you get older. Yes. You guys are making this thing really easy. So right now, there's 2 locations. You got Modesto, you got Sacramento, you got Turlock coming soon.
Turlock, we just did like our health inspection yesterday. We passed.
That's a big one. You got to go through a lot of stuff with the health department. They don't play with the food.
Monday, yes. Like Monday, we have city doing some stuff. So hopefully by Wednesday, everything is signed off and we're ready to go. So we're hoping the following week we start training and stuff and we open up. So we
Nice.
have that. We have our Rio juice.
Shout it out. Shout out the spots, man. Rio Modesto.
Rio juice in Modesto. We
Okay.
have our Aries Jiu-Jitsu. So the nice thing about Rio juice is if you train, say, Kung Fu, you might want to learn a little bit more about Chinese background culture, right? If you train Muay Thai, you want to learn a little bit more about the Thai's culture, right?
Yeah.
Well, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're going to want to know about the Brazilian culture, right?
Right.
So people who train Jiu-Jitsu are barbecuing picanha and trying to do, taste the Brazilian food and other stuff. The problem is in Central Valley, there's no Brazilian restaurant. So when this supplement shop closed down next to our academy, well, we knocked down the wall, put a big window, there's a French door and stuff, and we opened a Brazilian restaurant where we have Brazilian pastry,
Love it.
different shakes.
Love it.
And coffee and stuff, bringing that Brazilian flavor, acai and stuff too, and then playing Brazilian music. So now when customers come in,
gotta come through.
They come in, they can see through the window.
We gotta go over there.
Yeah, these kids and adults are fighting on the mat.
Yeah, you have it. Oh, I didn't realize it's actually like you can see. It's like,
oh no, you can see through the window. And you can open the French door, go into the lounge and watch these guys. So you can drink coffee and watch people training.
Okay.
So it's cool. And then parents before, it's like, I'm going to drop off my kids, come back in an hour. Well, now they're hanging out.
That's marketing right there, too. You have it all connected. So you can watch the kids, they can drink. And love it, man.
So this is something where we came
on social media because you guys are always posting videos, pictures of food and everything. They might want to come check you out. So kind of shout out the location if they're here in SAC. And then shout out the location out in Modesto.
Yeah, so our social media for our Modesto location is ProteinHouse.Modesto. Our Sacramento location on Arden Way by Arden Mall inside the Market Square is ProteinHouse.Sacramento.
Okay.
Turlock is coming up pretty soon here. So our website is protein-house.com. We also have an app. The address for Modesto is 4800 Dell Road, Suite 103, across from Kaiser, by the mall.
Okay.
Address for Turlock's 1858 Countryside, off the Folkert exit and Countryside. So CSU Stanislaus over there in Turlock, so it's pretty close by there, Monte Vista exit. And then you have Sacramento here off Arden Way.
Yeah, Marketplace.
Yes.
Man, you heard it, man. My man, January, man. We talk law enforcement. We talk life-changing events. We talk moving with purpose. It's your boy, Johnny Invest, and we got another one. And this is Max Muscle presents the Invest Podcast. Subscribe. It's your boy, Johnny Invest.